Trustee Fenton?
Here.
Trustee Dodge?
Here.
Trustee Condrello?
Here via phone. I'm feeling under the weather and using the resources through the executive order to attend out of respect for my fellow board members.
So you're here. Thanks.
Trustee Healy? Here. Trustee Katsinas?
Here.
Trustee Malani?
Here.
Mayor Pico?
Here.
Please rise for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting of August 3rd, 2020.
So moved. Second.
I have a change. Page 10, third paragraph, replace the word differ with defer. Got the wrong word in there. Any other comments or changes? So call the roll with the one change to replace the one word.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Condrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy? Aye. Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
St. Michael's Church raffle license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to approve issuing a raffle license to St. Michael's Church to sell raffle tickets during their St. Michael Fall Fest beginning Tuesday, August 18th, 2020 through Friday, September 18th, 2020.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Condrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy? Aye. Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Accounts payable from August 4th, 2020 to August 17th, 2020.
Trustee Healy.
I move to approve the accounts payable from August 4th, 2020 to August 17th, 2020. It's an amount of $4,475,649.67.
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy?
I abstain. I have a conflict with the
Well, so we're going to need to re-motion this. You can't, if you have a conflict, you can't motion it. So,
Mr. Chairman? Oh, do you want me to
so
reread?
I'd rather just, redo the motion. Trustee Fenton?
I move to approve the accounts payable from August 4th, 2020 to August 17th, 2020 in the amount of $4,475,649.67.
Second.
Okay, call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Condrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
I abstain. I have a customer.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye. Motion carries.
Consent agenda.
Consent agenda, item A, payroll for August 7th, 2020, approval. Item B, 2020 sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation bid award and professional engineering construction oversight services proposal. Item C, request for proposals 20-021 network and telecommunications infrastructure consent. Item D, landscape maintenance contract amendment, Public Works, reference item 2018-0809. Item E, Orland Ridge authorizing amended development agreement ordinance. Item F, Orland Ridge rezoning ordinance. Item G, Orland Ridge special use permit ordinance. I will entertain a motion to approve items A through G of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Seconded that? Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Condrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy? Aye. Mayor Pico?
Aye. Motion carries.
Orland Fire Protection District Maintenance Building Development Petition for Site Plan, Elevations, Landscape Plan, Variances.
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee Katsinas.
I move to approve the site plan, landscaping plan, elevation, and variances for the Orland Fire Protection District Maintenance Building located at 10704 West 163rd Place as recommended at the August 4th, 2020 Planning Commission meeting in a fully referenced motion below.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor, my phone got disconnected. What are we voting on?
We're on the Orland Fire Protection District Maintenance Building.
Thank you. I didn't miss anything. Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Ed, was this unanimous at the Planning Commission? Yes, that's right. Okay.
Mayor Pico.
Trustee Dutch.
Just nothing unusual, Ed, in all the variances. I mean, it's for given the use, given the location, right, there shouldn't be an issue.
No, that's what justifies the variance, is reduction in parking because it's a facility just for the fire district to utilize, as well the other modification variance for parking between the building and the street is in line, consistent with the development adjacent.
Got it. No, perfect. Thank you. Just checking. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Healy. Aye. Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0. That was easy, wasn't it, guys?
Villas of Cobblestone, authorizing development agreement.
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Katsinas.
John, do you have an ordinance number, please?
5540.
I move to pass ordinance number 5540 entitled Ordinance Authorizing Developmental Agreement, the Villas of Cobblestone, 8010 through 8030 West 143rd Street.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
We talked about this at the Committee of the Whole. Are there any additional comments from the Committee of the Whole? Call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Healy. Aye. Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye.
Cassini Jewelers Development Petition for a Special Use Permit Amendment, Site Plan Elevations and Landscape Plan.
Trustee Healy.
5541.
I move to pass ordinance number 5541 entitled Ordinance Granting an Amendment of Special Use dash Cassini Jewelers, 30 Orland Square Drive.
Second.
Any comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Healy. Aye. Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Trustee Count. Dan.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Peacock.
Aye. Motion carries.
Professional Engineering Consulting Services, request for qualifications, pre-qualified consultant recommendation.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
I move to approve to entering into a master professional services agreement with the above listed of recommended consultants for a term not to exceed 5 years, beginning October 1st, 2020, and ending September 30th, 2025.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Just, Mayor Pico.
Trustee Dodge.
George, just to make sure I understand, the common use of master services agreement is to have a standing legal agreement between us and the consultants, and then as a body of work comes up, we put in a statement of work and amendment, correct? That's how you envision this going?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And the goal behind this, because we have multiples for each one, is to bid out those
Correct.
projects.
So for each designated area of expertise, we will request quotes for each project.
It's good practice. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Healy. Aye. Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Peacock.
Aye.
Intergovernmental and sub-recipient agreement with Cook County for coronavirus relief fund.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
resolution number, please.
2041.
I move to pass resolution number 2041 entitled Resolution Authorizing the Village President to Execute an Intergovernmental and Subrecipient Agreement for Coronavirus Relief Funds with Cook County.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Mayor Pico.
Trustee Dodge.
So broadly, that's just it with the county? They got a whole bunch of money that was earmarked for us, and they have a pretty big management fee where we get our share? That's it?
Yeah, unfortunately, the state restricted, well, I should say the state General Assembly, in the 3 days that they were there, they passed a law that restricted the amount of money that will go to local governments. So in the case of Cook County, under the CARES Act, they received a direct allocation from the federal government that didn't go through. And so what Cook County has done is taken out of a very large portion, they've put off the side $51 million for all of the communities in Cook County minus City of Chicago. Then they came up with a formula to even whittle that down. So our share of the CARES Act funding from Cook County is less than $1 million.
Theoretically, it should have been what?
9.7?
Yep, theoretically.
I kind of figured you might have an answer for that one.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go into some of my comments now because I think it'll answer your question. So the people of Orland Park are getting royally ripped off here by the county and the state. I'm sure we're all surprised by that. So they gave us $51 million. Okay, on a per capita basis, that would be about 1.2 million. We're getting about 450,000. However, if they would have shared all the funds they were given on a per capita basis, we would have gotten 9.7 million from the county. The county, they have unincorporated residents, so they are keeping $3,389 per unincorporated resident versus the $20 they've allocated to the rest of us, and we're getting about $7 per resident. But the state should be, this is what's really being lost in all of this, and people are busy fighting over these crumbs from the county. The state should have, by the federal government rules, distributing 45% of its share. That's $1.6 billion to municipalities less than 500,000 that did not receive direct funding. They're only sharing 250 million of that. And they've specifically cut out Orland Park and all the other suburbs around the Chicagoland area because they've cut out 5 counties. If you took a per capita share of that money, taking out Chicago, because Chicago got money directly, that share would be $9 million. So either way you slice this, we got ripped off out of about $9 million, and we're getting 450,000. So, and the other thing that's frustrating, as we've talked about before, is the COGS are not really doing much to fight for that. The IML is, and we will continue to push and fight. And we've written to our congressman, and we're doing everything we can to continue to fight for those dollars. And hopefully, the U.S. federal government will hold the state accountable.
I would, Mayor Pico, I would share that. I want to register my frustration that levels of government above Orland and between here and Washington are basically standing in the way of resources that were intended by the United States Congress, which we, of course, help fund. It's just frustrating.
And some of the municipalities are fighting over these crumbs and missing the bigger picture, that if everyone got what was allocated to the state for us, that they'd all be getting 20 times more than they're receiving today.
And even of that 250 million, they have not given any municipality.
They have not given a penny. So, as we said from the beginning, we're going to treat this as if we're going to get nothing, because figure the state's going to try and put it in their pockets like they do everything else. But I have 2 questions about this, and this might be a Dennis or a George question. Does this resolution preclude us from continuing this fight? Like, for example, is this we've accepted your check and now we have no more recourse kind of thing? Like it might be if I was a business taking someone's money?
Dennis can chime in, but I think the answer is, and you mentioned it, our real fight is with the state. The state should be distributing their portion based on that. The fact that the county is distributing any of it, if we're going to get it, that's wonderful. But I don't think the county's agreement can preclude us from doing anything at the state level.
Correct. It does for the county. So we are precluded under this
do we?
Okay, so that brings up the next question, which is, does this preclude us from getting additional money from the county? Because we've been told, I've been told by some of the COGs that many of these communities, they don't have the net, they've been allocated a lot more money based on this formula, but they don't have nearly the expenses that qualify. So that money, the county has said, is going back into the pool to be distributed. Are we going to be able to go get that part of the money if we've spent it, if we sign this agreement? Because I don't want to put ourselves in that position.
It's possible, but we won't even get the first allocation if we don't sign this agreement.
Right, okay, so if we pass the resolution, it gives me the authority to do this, but doesn't mean I have to do this. We could answer these questions before I sign into any agreement, correct?
Yeah.
So my suggestion to the board would be to pass this, but recognize that we are going to get answers to these questions before I sign on the dot, before I sign anything on the dotted line.
Mayor Pico?
Trustee Dodge.
I think that makes sense, given that there's uncertainty. I mean, it's a fair bit of money, and our residents are expecting us to go after it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Healy.
So, George, can I understand that there's no timetable to get this money to us?
I don't, well, I should say that I know that another municipality has completed their paperwork with the county and has already received their check. So I think as soon as we submit the close to $500,000, I think we'd be getting that relatively soon. As far as the bigger amount, that's I think, unfortunately, a long-term fight.
It is frustrating in Washington, D.C., where nobody can agree on anything. They both came together and agreed that the city size of Orland, population should get $10 million. The state said, give us a haircut, 95%.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Healy. Mayor Pico.
Aye.
Village Prosecutor Services, RFP.
Mr. Chairman? Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Trustee Fenton.
Move to approve the proposal for the village prosecutor service to Donna J. Norton, attorney at law.
Second.
Sorry.
Any questions or comments?
I had a question. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I had a question.
Trustee Katsinas.
George, this attorney selected obviously has litigation experience background.
Yes.
Okay.
So so the selection committee was myself and retired Chief McCarthy. We went through the 8 proposals that were submitted. We scored them, and by far, Ms. Norton was the most responsible proposer.
Does that attorney represent any other villages currently as a prosecutor?
Nope, she recently retired from the state's attorney's office.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other
Mayor?
comments?
Trustee.
Trustee Calandrello, is that you?
Yes. Thank you. I know Donna Norton personally. She used to be my supervisor in the state attorney's office, and she's going to be a great pick. I do have a comment that I think we should look into overall as a village, George, and I don't know if Joe Mitchell's there or not, of us actually taking up our prosecutions. I know multiple towns in the northern Cook County picks up their own prosecutions, particularly the misdemeanor and DUI prosecution, and also the Will County. I think that our local prosecutor, whoever it is, and I hope it's Mr. Norton after the vote today, but that's something I think we should look up not only for a revenue source, but also for to control our prosecutions at the Bridgeview Courthouse and also in the Will County Courthouse now. So I think that's something that Joe and George should look into regarding prosecutions of misdemeanors and DUIs, getting that authority from the state's attorney.
So since I've been here, we've added several things to that, so we'll continue to look at that, but I know that since I've been mayor, we've added several things because we recognize that we're not getting prosecution out of the county, so we've been taking care of adjudicating it here locally. And
No,
we
I
will-
know I'm saying, Mr. Mayor, we actually will go into the courthouses in Bridgeview and Will County and prosecute. We have the authority, along as District Attorney Fox gives it to us. A lot of towns up north do that themselves. So it's not adjudication. We're talking about actually prosecuting the misdemeanors in Bridgeview Courthouse and the Will County Courthouse. So it's common practice in Will County. So it's something that we just need authority to get from the state's attorney.
And this RFP, when the statement for the RFP included those options. So if we ever do want to get to that point where we use our own prosecutor in the courthouse for prosecution services, we are set with that.
Thank you. That's something we should look into seriously. And with Ms. Norton as our prosecutor, she has the experience to do it. And just so the record's clear, I'm going to abstain based on my professional relationship with Ms. Norton in the past and the future. Thank you.
Any other comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Abstain.
Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye. That was almost a land speed record. Non-scheduled citizens and visitors. So I have a Jeffrey L., and we'll need your last name, and you're here to speak. You get 3 minutes. You're here to speak on the future of Orland and school districts. I just want, before you speak, I just want to make you aware that none of us on the board floor have anything to do with the school districts in any way, so that's a separate board. So, and you just take the podium over there.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? Good, okay. Hi. You know, I'd like to ask our Village of Orland Park what happened to our residents being our #1 priority. And I've lived here for 20 years, and I'm in disbelief to see that our community is the way it is. You know, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate all you've done, but I know how you would like to tell everybody on Facebook how you had the mayoral power on Facebook in a community group, and that you'll run your town the way you want to. In my opinion, it didn't come off very polished. You have ordered Cosmoprof, our beauty supply store, to take down boards on their windows during the pandemic, which were put up for safety reasons. But yet the construction on the strip mall next door has a huge opening where a window used to be that is uncovered to a shutdown storefront is okay and safe. I went by there today to make sure it's still uncovered, and it is. Since when did we allow protests in Orland Park to stop traffic on LaGrange and to possibly make danger for our community and our residents? You know, instead of the Taste of Orland and speaking on the local news about all of our issues, maybe our safety and our well-being should also be considered. Yes, I did watch the Orland 135 school board meeting last week, and they did address the request to lower tax levies, and they were not happy. You know, I'd like to remind each and every one of you about our special education students, our ESL students, and the students like myself in years past who were in extracurriculars like our music program. Who will be the one that's going to tell them that certain services and activities who our students depend on will not be offered in our schools? You know, you were the one that did address the Orland 135 school board back in January of 2019 to plead with the Board of Education to not make cuts to our librarians and our certain programs, such as the gifted program and the honors program. Do we really want our school district to suffer? Remember, our district is operating on a deficit budget. People move to our community for our schools. But if you carry out the plans, then you will drive our community away. Our community was a true community, but in the months leading up to this, I don't feel it is anymore. The professionalism and the dedication I feel is no longer. In our 20 years that I've been here, I'm ashamed to say I live in Orland. Maybe I should remind everyone that our money comes into our community from not our businesses, but our citizens. And if you treat us like a number, then people, we will not stay and we will not support Orland. And instead of spending thousands to sue J.B. Pritzker, which is more than what many people make in a year, maybe our schools, fire and police department would have appreciated that as well. An extra bonus for our heroes during this time would have gone a very, very long way. If you have the mayoral power like you say you do, then I trust that you will stop our protests, you will spend the money efficiently, and you will work with our citizens of Orland to create the community that we used to be. If not, I guess we will see what happens in April when it's election time. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And can we get your last name, please?
Sure. Leonard?
Leonard?
Yes.
Laura Kresmer, reminder you have 3 minutes.
Hi. I would like to address the lack of professionalism displayed at the last village board meeting and on Facebook. I can speak for myself and for several others in saying that I am embarrassed by the behavior from public officials. A sophomoric display occurred near the very end of the last village board meeting. A trustee brought up the village's lawsuit against the governor with glee and a smirk on his face, visible through his mask, and he announced that the village lost their lawsuit against the governor. In my opinion, he wanted to make sure he brought this to everyone's attention because he is well known for his opposition to our mayor. Like any lawsuit, there is always the chance the claimant will lose. In this case, it is safe to assume that there was a 70-30 chance our village would lose. We rolled the dice hoping for a judge that was favorable to our position. The trustee who displayed happiness at this loss for our village is an attorney himself and should be well aware of how the system works. We lost the lawsuit, and I accept that fact. However, our village did what was right for the people. A motion was filed not for personal benefit or notoriety, but as an attempt to try and help the people of the village. Individual livelihoods were and still are at stake based on the governor's illegal executive orders. An additional juvenile display occurred on Facebook regarding the taste of Orland. A trustee who has served in several capacities for the village posted on his professional page that the event was not in the best interest of our village and it was not safe. This trustee also went on to say that attendees to this event were being put at risk and would spread the virus. Some words used to describe his discontent with the event included that it was a bad idea and a poor decision. Yet he still voted in favor of having the event. The trustee lied and said he voted in favor of planning. There is audio, visual, and recorded evidence that in fact he voted in favor of the event. Without knowing our academic backgrounds, intelligence level, life experiences, professional experiences, or social experiences, he categorically insulted those of us who voiced opposition to his statement. Here are just some examples of his unprofessional and insulting comments. He labeled a male resident as incoherent and condescending. His words, paraphrased, were "come talk to me, fight it out with me." He questioned my ability to understand democracy as well as my financial situation. He told people to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. He claimed that all levels of government absolutely know the science and trajectory of the COVID-19 virus. This is inherently false. There's many more examples. I am embarrassed by this behavior and will distance myself from any public official who participates in this type of behavior. But I would like to thank the great job the majority of our board is doing for the benefit of the people. They give us a choice based on what is best for us and our families, and our village, and the majority of our residents. They put the people first. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anybody else to speak? Okay, board comments. Trustee Fenton.
First of all, I'd like to thank our police department for their quick responses and always keeping the residents in the Village of Orland Park safe, and the people who come to visit the Village of Orland Park with everything that you've done over the last couple weekends. And your professionalism shows that we are proactive and not reactive. And that's what's great about it. And I'd also like to thank the fire department and Public Works and other individuals who have helped support and get things in place right away to make sure that we do have a safe community. I'd also like to, I was made aware today of a couple businesses that are leaving town due to lack of business. So I would like to encourage everyone to continue to support our local businesses, and especially our restaurants, since we will be coming up to cold weather and you won't be able to eat outside. And always, as I've been saying for the past couple months, please remember to wear your mask.
Trustee Dodge.
Just a couple of comments. George, look forward to hearing from you some basic financial information. I know that you've run into some challenges with reporting from the state, but there's some other things I think you could deliver to the board on a regular basis. Two, I wouldn't mind if at a future committee of the whole we talk about broadly consent agenda. It's my recollection that that was something we created or took advantage of. I think it was actually at Trustee Ed Schulcher's suggestion. We had a lot of items then. We would go through the committee, they'd come out of committee 3.0, made sense to put them on consent agenda. Given what we've done with the committee structure, perhaps we can kind of rethink, how we want to approach this. So we'll just have that as perhaps a committee of the whole discussion. And then broadly, I'm going to continue to do what I've always done, which is keep my time at this microphone focused on issues of public policy and I'll use other forums to make overtly political statements as opposed to what seems to be the popular thing these days, which is to use Village of Orland Park microphones for what can best be described as overtly political statements. So democracy is tough. Lots of opinions. We all have the right to freedom of speech. Thank God for that.
Trustee Calangelo.
No comments. Thank you, everyone. Be safe.
Trustee Healy.
I just have a quick comment on the passing of a very nice lady, Mickey Walsh. Her and her husband, Tom, came out here from the south side of Chicago. Tom being an ex-police, Chicago police officer. And they came out to Orland Park to retire, and they've lived a long life with St. Michael's, long career with St. Michael's Parish. They had a number of their grandkids go to school there, but it's acquaintances of mine. There's certain people in your life who I find it can really inspire you, and they struck me as sincere and honest, and we bonded with the feeling of not having a voice in local government. And anyway, they're passing. They're very good people, and I just want to honor their passing by saying thank you to Tom and Mickey. You're both gone now, but thank you for the inspiration. Thanks.
Trustee Katsinas.
Thank you. In our last meeting and closing comments, a reference was made to actions, about our actions to protect our residents and our businesses. I believe everyone on this board is acting in the best interest in their way to represent and protect both the residents and the businesses of Orland Park. But comments made at last meeting make me took pause. To somewhat take pleasure to state that Orland Park lost is concerning, whether we agree or whether we disagree. Using language like that on the board floor, I don't feel is in the best interest of both our residents and our businesses. I never want Orland Park to lose anything. I apologize to the resident who was the brunt of some of these comments. This resident survived a cardiac event. He had a heart attack, and a significant factor in achieving good health was cardiac rehab, which we knew he was not able to do because of the shutdown. So I apologize to you, Doctor. We can agree to disagree, but I believe disparaging comments about the Village of Orland Park on the board floor is not in anyone's best interest. On another note, our concert series, August 22nd coming up, 3 bands are playing. The doors open at 3 p.m. It is a free event at Centennial Park West. There will be 3 acts, one starting at 4:30 to 6, 6 to 8, and then our little headliner, 8:30 to 10. Hope to see you there, and I know there will be safe distancing, just like what was done at Taste of Orland, which was very successful. Hope you can come out and have a nice evening in your backyard in Centennial Park West. Thank you.
Trustee Malani.
Thank you. Just like to, at the beginning of the week, we found out that Chief Mitchell didn't lose a step moving into his new position. We were able to quickly and efficiently take action to make sure that our citizens were safe around the mall and around our retail areas. And I think they did a tremendous job. So we thank you for that. I'd also like to thank all the residents that came out to our drive-in movie on the 15th. We sold out, which shows that people are looking forward to these types of events, this type of format. As Cindy mentioned, as well, the free concert coming up on the 22nd, where we'll once again have a very safe event similar to Taste of Orland. We've proven that we can do it, and we can't do it without the help of all the staff that have made sure that these events go off without a hitch. So we'd like to thank you for that as well. And shop local, stay safe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. So tonight, something that's maybe a little lost on this, we haven't really talked about it, is The people saw good government in action with an RFP for engineering services and for prosecutorial services. This had never been done before here, and we've now set ourselves up to have regular bidding on all of our engineering services as opposed to giving them out to individual firms. And those firms are included in our list, but now they'll have to give us competitive pricing. This is yet another positive step that's taken to ensure that the patronage problem that we know plagues Illinois does not happen here in Orland Park. So kudos to the whole board for their work on that. Also a reminder, August 22nd, we have our concert series, and there is also, aside from just like the taste, social distancing with the different pods or squares or whatever you want to call them out there, there's also the option for people who don't feel comfortable with that to drive in and watch it. There will be some big screens and the ability to FM connect to the act, so you can listen to it from your car radio. And we will do that with every other space, so you'll have your car and you'll have a space to do that with. We do ask, if you are going to do this and go into the park in person and not do it from your car, please do not park in the lot to the north of the event. Save that for people who are going to watch it from their vehicles. So we'd ask you to do that, so please park over on the other side of the tracks and walk over. So as a courtesy to our other residents, so that as many people can use it as possible. So that's one thing that we do ask. And we will have signs out there directing you to do that. Please follow those signs and don't take spaces that other people might be able to enjoy the concert in a way that they would like to. With that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to go in executive session for A, approval of minutes, B, pending litigation against, affecting, or on behalf of the village when found by the board that such action is probable or imminent.
Second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.